In this video, we're going to spend some time tweaking the KDE Plasma desktop to make it look a bit more modern and feel a little more organized. I'm going to walk through how to enable those blur effects you see behind the system menus and the terminal. On top of that, we're going to set up rounded corners for the windows and add some transparency to the mix. I'll even show you how to change the look of the standard title bar to make it appear like it's floating. It's a pretty straightforward process, so if you're ready to give your desktop a fresh look, let's get into it. The first thing we're going to need is a style called Darkly. It's a fork of the Lightly theme, and it's what we'll use to get that transparency across our windows. Darkly also includes its own window decoration, which gives you a lot of customization options right out of the box. To get Darkly on your system, head over to the GitHub page and scroll down to the README. You'll find all the installation steps right there. They've listed the commands for several different distributions, so just make sure you're picking the one that matches what you're running. Since I'm on Arch, I'm going to copy these specific lines and paste them into my terminal. Go ahead and run whichever one applies to your setup, and we'll move to the next step. Once those commands are finished, you can close the terminal and the browser. It's time to apply the new look. Head into System Settings and find Colors and Themes. We'll start with the application style. Click into that, select Darkly here, and hit Apply. Next, jump over to the Colors section and apply the Darkly color scheme there as well. Now let's move to Window Decorations and apply the Darkly theme. I'm going to unmaximize this window so we can actually see the changes happening live. Once I select Darkly and hit Apply, you'll notice the new window style. The corners are a bit more rounded and the overall look is much cleaner. If you click this small edit icon on the Darkly preview, you'll find the setting for the floating title bar. Let's enable that to see how it looks. It gives the window a unique, detached appearance. Just a quick tip. If you notice any strange glitches or weird corners after applying the theme, a quick log out and log back in usually clears that right up. For now though, I'm going to disable the floating title bar while we finish the rest of the setup. While we're in the Darkly window decoration settings, feel free to explore the other options. You can fine-tune things like the window corner radius, adjust the title bar alignment, or change the button sizes to fit your preference. There's a lot of flexibility here, but let's move on and see how we can enable those transparency and blur effects for our windows and the system panel. Let's head back into System Settings, go to Global Theme, and select Application Style. From here, click that small pencil icon to open up the Darkly Preferences window. You'll see a Transparency tab. Jump into that, and you'll find sliders to adjust the transparency for different parts of your windows. Just for this demo, I'm going to add some transparency specifically to the sidebar. To see the changes take effect, you usually need to reopen your applications. I'll open up Dolphin here, since these sidebar settings are most noticeable in the file manager. Now you can see that subtle see-through effect working perfectly. You might not like the default look right away, but don't worry. I'll show you exactly how to tune the blur effects to your liking. In the meantime, feel free to play around with the other transparency sliders to see what works best for your setup. If the windows look a little strange after hitting Apply, just remember that you usually need to restart the application for the transparency to render properly. Now, to adjust the blur itself, head over to Window Management and then into Desktop Effects. Find the blur option, make sure the box is checked, and click the configuration icon next to it. You'll see three main sliders here. First one is for adjusting the blur strength, and then noise strength. Noise adds a sort of grainy, dotted effect, but I personally prefer a cleaner look, so I usually set that to 0. Thirdly, there's the saturation slider. I recommend bumping this up just a little bit. It makes the colors from your background pop through the blur, which looks much nicer in my opinion. Now we can really see the results of our custom blur settings. Even after adjusting these settings, you'll notice that the background for your panel and application menu hasn't really changed much. To get a brighter matching look for your panel and widgets, head back into Colors and Themes and select Plasma Style. We're going to use a theme called Ant Dark. I already have it on my system, but you'll need to click the Get New button to find it. Once the store window opens, give it a moment to load properly. You can scroll down to find it, or if you don't see it right away, just use the search bar for Ant Dark and hit Install. After it's installed, select it as your Plasma style and hit Apply. You'll see right away that the panel, the application menu, and all your widgets now have a much cleaner, consistent background. And just a reminder, if you see any weirdness with the corners, a quick log out and log back in will fix that right up. If you notice your accent color or folder icons don't quite match the new theme, we can fix that easily. Head back to the Colors section in your settings. Click this small icon and select Pick Screen Color. This allows you to click anywhere on your screen, like your wallpaper, to grab a specific color. Once you've picked it, you can use the sliders to fine-tune the darkness or lightness to your liking. After you hit Apply, your accent colors and folders will blend perfectly with your wallpaper for a more cohesive look. If you're still using the default panel widgets, you might notice they take up quite a bit of space. You can actually remove a few of these to clean up the look without losing any actual functionality. Take the virtual desktop indicator, for example. It shows your active desktops and lets you click to switch between them. While it's perfectly fine if you prefer using your mouse, you can get a much cleaner looking panel by removing it and using keyboard shortcuts to switch between your desktops instead. Instead of the widget, you can use Ctrl plus Super plus arrow keys to cycle through your desktops. If you're on a laptop, a simple 3-finger swipe left or right on the touchpad does the same thing. You can even press Super plus W to get a bird's eye view of all your active desktops at once. If you want to center your taskbar icons, here is how you can do it. While the panel configuration menu is open, click the Add New button and select Spacer. Add it twice. Now, simply drag and drop your items to align them to your preference. Just make sure your task icons are placed in between these two spacers. If you feel that this area looks a bit empty after removing the desktop indicator, you can always add a different widget in its place. Click Add Widgets here. For this setup, I'm going to add the Window List widget. It simply displays the title of your currently focused window. Now you can simply drag and drop it next to the menu button and exit the edit mode. If I open the terminal, you'll see the title change immediately to Terminal. If I switch over to another application, it updates to show that as well. In our panel, we're going to remove one last widget, Peek at Desktop. This widget simply hides all your open windows to show the desktop, and clicking it again restores them. However, you can do the exact same thing using the shortcut Super plus D. To remove it, right-click on the panel and select Show Panel Configuration. From there, just hover over the Peek at Desktop widget and remove it. Lastly, for the panel, we're going to change the application menu icon to something that looks a bit more like a modern app drawer. Right-click on the menu icon and select Configure. Click the icon image itself, then select Choose and then Browse. This will open up your file manager so you can navigate to and select your preferred icon. Once you've selected it, just click OK and hit Apply. This is my own custom menu icon. If you'd like to use this specific one, you can find the download link in the video description. Next, let's change the position of KRunner. By default, it appears at the very top of the screen. If you prefer it there, that's absolutely fine, but I'm going to move it to the center for a more balanced look. To do that, just click the settings icon right here and change the position to center. Now, whenever you pull up KRunner, it will appear right in the middle of your screen, which I think looks much cleaner. Some of you might notice that while your panel and widgets look translucent on the desktop, they turn into a solid background as soon as you maximize an app window. If you want to maintain that transparency even when an app is in full screen mode, here is how to do it. Simply open the panel configuration menu and change the opacity setting to translucent. And that's it! Now you'll have a consistent transparency effect regardless of whether your windows are maximized or not. Lastly, we're going to add some transparency to the terminal to give it a more stylish, modern look. Step 1 is to open your terminal and click the 3 horizontal lines to open the menu. Hover over the settings and select Configure Console. Here, click the Profiles tab. Just create a new profile, give it any name you like, and hit OK. Now select your new profile, click Edit, and go to the Appearance tab. Here, the first thing I recommend is adjusting the font size. On most distributions, the default text in the terminal can look a bit too small. You can also pick a different font here if you prefer. I'm just going to bump the size up by 2 pixels and set mine to Adwaita Mono. Once you're happy with the fonts, scroll down to the color schemes and select White on Black theme because it fits the aesthetic of our setup perfectly. After you've selected it, click the Edit button on the right. Make sure to check the box for Blur Background, and then you can play around with the Background Transparency slider. I usually find that somewhere between 20 and 40% gives you that nice glass look without making the text hard to read. When that's done, hit Apply, and then hit Apply again on the main window. One last thing, select your new profile and click Set as Default. That way, every time you open the terminal from now on, it'll show up with your new custom look. You might have noticed that my icons aren't the default ones. They're actually a modified version of the Breeze icons, which you can simply install directly from the KDE store. For the window minimizing animation, I'm using the magic lamp effect. If you want that too, just go to System Settings and then Animations. Change the window minimizing effect to magic lamp, and I'd also recommend adjusting the speed slightly to really appreciate the animation. Setting it between 400 and 500 milliseconds usually feels just right. That's all for this video. If you want to explore further KDE customization, you can check out my previous video on the subject. Thanks for watching.